Right, so this is going to be the first episode of the very inaugural A and Q. Now, for those that don't know, this is the only show on YouTube where you answer the questions. Now, first thing that we're going to do, I've been thinking about this for the last few hours, decent questions, and something that can give you so much meat to chew on when you're discussing it. And that's, I'm going to start with stables. Now, stables has always been a huge part of wrestling, ever since the early days of the Four Horsemen to D-Generation X and the NWO, Nation of Domination. There's always been something going on, right? So basically, what I'm going to start with is, what do you guys think was the most revolutionary stable to be in pro wrestling? Now, this can be anything, any stable at all. I want good reasons for it. I'm going to read the best ones out, and I want to know why. Why do you feel? Say, for instance, if you feel NWO was the best, you can go on and on and on about how they changed pro wrestling or whatever. And all these stables were massive for their own reasons. Now, as well as what you thought was it, you've got to remember as well, it's not just the best, it was not just in your view, what had the biggest impact? You're discussing the best, you've got to remember what had the biggest impact. Did it change pro wrestling? Did it cause a star? These are things you need to remember. And then, on the other hand, I also want you, this is the second question, what do you feel was the lamest stable? Now, you can remember some of the daft ones that were in the WWE for this. Oddities come to mind. You also had, on the subject to best stables, you also had the fun ones. Remember you had the LWO, Latino World Order, with Eddie Guerrero and WCW. That was hilarious. That was brilliant viewing. That was a sign of the charismatic Guerrero that was to come to WWE, the lie, cheating and stealing. That to me was the start of that whole era. But also remember the worst stables. Now this is what I was getting to. The worst stables. You had the Disciples of Apocalypse, the Oddities, Last But Equals, Jesus man. There was so many, so many. So what do you guys feel was the best and the worst? I want valid reasons for both of them. Remember, I'll read these out and I'll have a good discussion about it in the next video. Question 3. I'm going to change this up, the tone a little bit here now. Question 3. Now, we all remember the invasion angle. Now personally, I thought it was a bit of a letdown. I thought they could have done a lot more when Vince McMahon bought WCW in 2001. When the purchase originally happened, what did you feel the WWE should have done? Do you think they could have done the whole angle better, or would you have done things the exact same way? Would you have created? Now remember we've got ECW now. Would you have, when the WCW was purchased for you, would you have, for instance, created a WCW telecast? Would you have kept Nitro going? These are things that have always interested me. What would have happened if WCW was kept going under the WWE moniker? And when you think about it as well, Nitro could have, just the name Nitro alone could have get more viewers to me than SmackDown and ECW. But I'm not going to answer any more than that. I'm going to keep that for you. What do you feel WWE should have done with WCW when they purchased it? And that's all my questions for just now. Now, hopefully this show can spark some great debates. That is my hope. My hope is that on the scale we can have some fun here. Now, if this gets a good reaction, a good response, I'm going to do this over the long term. I'm going to keep this going for a good few months at least until it gets stale. But we can create the wheel together here. Now, all these discussions, if there's anything that you want me to bring up, for instance, if you want me to ask a debate on anything at all in wrestling, give me a message and I'll ask it in my next A and Q. I'll get it done. And that's all I've really got to say. If there's anything that you want to get brought up, then I'll bring it up. So I understand there's a lot to there's a lot you can talk about in wrestling. It's one of these genres, and we all love discussing wrestling. Everybody that uses YouTube that's in the communities, we all have our favourite sort of categories to discuss, and there's so much we can talk about. So yeah, that's the ball rolling. What was the best stable? What had the biggest impact? What was the worst stable? What was brushed aside? And what was your view on the invasion angle in 2001? How do you feel WWE dealt with it? Message me your answers. Comment me your answers. I don't care as long as I get it and as long as it's valid. I'll read it out and I'll discuss it. Thank you very much.